What is up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Might be a little weird to see my face over here because usually we don't do that, but it was because I just recently learned how to do a source recording separately from the camera. And so now I can do a stream. Oh, I can hear myself. That's not good. Why can I hear myself? Ah, fixed it. Yeah. So today, I've had this idea for a little while. I've been watching a YouTuber, Floydson, and some other people, but they do like these 100% playthroughs. Preds recently did one, or actually a couple of them, and I think those are pretty fun. It's like a good format that people seem to enjoy, and I recently just finished a playthrough of Surround Dead, and I 100%ed it, and that was a lot of fun. And so I was like, well, I really like Stationeers. I never have done like a super long-term playthrough because I just feel like at a certain point when you get self-sufficient, you stop needing to do more things. And so the idea of trying to go achievement hunting makes it so you do have reasons to continue. And I wanted to do that. So that's the intro for this. I have a few mods just because if you are familiar with the channel, if you've been around for a little while, I love mods. That's like one of my favorite things for games. And so I will show you my really small mod list for this. I had to keep it basic, but mainly it's cosmetic mods because if I'm trying to go achievement hunting, I didn't want to have like things that totally change the game. As well as like light fixing, because this game gets really, really dark and YouTube compression would absolutely hate that. So ambient light fix, and this one just actually makes some of the emissive things just more emissive, and it actually adds a lot of ambient to or like a really cool ambiance to the whole thing. And then the wall direction indicator, because I get confused sometimes. The only mod that I would say that may or may not, like, I don't know, people could argue changes gameplay is this modular console mod. But it mainly just like adds buttons and switches and like gauges that the game already has, but it makes it almost in a smaller, more condensed place, and it's more visually cool. But to make that work, you have to program functionally. And so it's not really like it's making the game easier. So that's my plug for those. I also left this in the description for anybody that wants to link to these. But I figure one of the most requested things at the beginning of a stream is, hey, what's your mods? These are the mods. And there are only 9 of them. Last thing before we jump in here, in order to do the 100%, you have to play on, I mean, if you're trying to do it in one save, you have to do brutal start on Stationeers difficulty, survive for 30 days. And then a lot of them are like be on Stationeers difficulty, survive a year on Mars, survive a year on Europa, survive a year on the moon. So I have already started a playthrough because it took me more than a few tries to be able to get the brutal start done on the Stationeers difficulty. So I'm not super far into the game, but I have a pressurized location and I have like 2 or 3 solar panels, and I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, this brutal start I may be able to survive for 30 days. But if I die and we need to restart, then we can do that on stream. But I did already start. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get in. Also, sorry for the long rambling. Hello, everybody. It's good to see you. Dennis, TBG, good to see you, man. TNT Craft, hello. Okay, let's take a look at how things are going right now. So this is the base that we got so far. Again, very, very simple, very rudimentary. I have this is a place where I can fill my oxygen tank, and it's just strictly from dropping oxite in this base and then pulling it into this vent and then hooking up my thing that way. There we go. If you are not familiar at all with Stationeers, this is definitely not going to be a tutorial series by any means. This is there's a lot of things that I kind of have to do. In most of like the really time sensitive stuff is done, but we still are going to have to kind of be moving and grooving here. So if there's anything that I'm doing that you would like to be explained, just hit me up in the chat and I'll try to see if I can take time to explain it. But we're going to go ahead and get started here. And the things that I'm planning on doing today, I always love a to-do list. And so I spent a little bit of time being a little bit extra here. Check this out. I made myself a Stationeers branded to-do list. And I'm pretty proud of it, to be honest. So I want to work on creating a water system. None of these are going to be super advanced at first, but the water system is going to be just melt ice, put it in tank, try to get it to heat up so that way we can get crops. Base atmosphere, I think right now, if I was to look at where's my little tablet? Oh, do you not start with a tablet on? Oh, yeah, we do. Let me get there we go. Yeah, so in here right now, we have a good amount of oxygen because we used oxite, but that also comes with nitrogen. CO2 is because I took my suit waste tank and I opened it in here so I could start collecting CO2 for when we have plants. But if I was to open up my helmet right now, it probably wouldn't be great. I don't know exactly what the mixture is. Well, actually, I don't think it would be terrible. I thought it was worse than it was. But anyway, pollutant in any amount is not great. So we just want to set up a system that will like filter out the pollutant, keep the oxygen high, maybe start grabbing some of that CO2, and we can make a greenhouse out of it. So when I say atmospherics or base atmosphere, that's what I'm talking about. Farming, that word is self-explanatory. Thank you. My helmet is open. Oh, great point. So it is breathable in here because my helmet is open. Power and batteries, also pretty self-explanatory. I want to make base batteries and set those up with those guys out there. Airlock, also self-explanatory. I have the doors already. I just haven't hooked up any of this, so we've just been kind of doing things manually. And then I have my furnace out there, a little bit away from the base because, you know, we know why. If you played Stationeers, you know why. Yeah, 80% oxygen does seem good. And then if I have time, I would like to do some other stuff like enclose the solar panels. We're on Mars right now, so we're going to have some storms and they will damage solar panels. So enclosing those and then expanding the base to put my printers and stuff inside would be a good thing to do as well. Because, you know, when you have stuff on the floor and a storm comes through, you can just have all of your precious metals strewn about and potentially taken away. So, a long intro, but that's where we're at. Let me eat some stuff. Yeah, I think that the pollutant is pretty low right now. Yeah, no, we're pretty good. I always worry because when you melt the oxide and you don't get the filter, I learned this the hard way, you have to have a nitrogen filter. If you have oxide just go directly into your oxygen tank or you'll pass out. So I never know exactly what the ratio of oxygen and nitrogen is for your character to be okay. All right, we ate. I think I can probably drink some additional water so we can get that 125%. And I think we are good. I don't have a shower or anything right now. But let's go ahead and get started on working on stuff. I think the easiest thing to work on, do we start with the easiest thing to work on, or do we start with probably the most pressing thing to work on, which is going to be food and water? I think that since we're going to want to get the water to heat up, I think making a water system might not be a bad idea. Setting up the airlock would be a good move, but I think I want to get that done. So just kind of giving you the tour of the base here. I have these 3 solar panels. Right now, they are not super optimized. I do have solar tracking on. I didn't do the any like MIPS or EC10 stuff. I just kind of did these just to get it set up because I was under time pressure. And then, yeah, I have these 3 solar panels, but as you can see, this one is at 83% efficiency because it's closest, but these ones are being blocked by the other ones. So in the future, I'll move these to give them a little bit more space so the shadow isn't casting on them. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get some water going. So I want an ice crusher, right? Is it a crusher or is it? Yeah, ice crusher. Okay, pipe bender. Okay, iron, gold, and copper. Did I leave all my stuff in there? Gold, copper. What direction is the sun moving? That direction. I don't quite know. I know that I have a compass here on my HUD, so it's like it goes from like 110. Here, let me just stand up here. Like 110, and it usually sets like on that ridge right there, so 212 is about what it does. Copper. It said gold, right? Didn't we have that? Gold, iron, copper. I could have sworn... Oh, I did see gold. It was in here. Yes, that is not the best place for that, but... And then... Iron, I think, is in there. I love it that you can just look through a window and grab stuff. Yeah, it's true. Automating the airlock, also a good idea. Right now, it's not super precious, and I mean, I am definitely likely to vent the entire thing on accident, but it's not like I have this. I have the temperature set up, and I have the like filtration and stuff set up. It's just I just put oxide in there and let it melt, and that's it. So I'm not super concerned. If I accidentally do vent it, then we will fix that by just getting more oxide. All right, we have an ice crusher. I'm gonna need some pipes. I also want a tank. So, I don't think it has to be. Well, it might as well, just because if I'm gonna leave it outside, tanks don't take damage during storms if they're left outside, do they? I do not recall. Okay, I have silicone somewhere. There it is. Oh, I need more. All right, well, let's go get some more then. Let's save power a little bit. Also, let's swap this battery before I go mining. And then let's set this up. Ooh, and I'm actually going to offload some of this building material. So that way I can have some extra room for mining since we're going out anyway. Always got to keep your duct tape. I have learned that on several occasions. I'm like, surely I won't need it. I'll also leave the cable. And whenever I think that, I mean, again, likelihood of problem, not super high, right? Like, we're just going out mining, but rather have it and not need it than the other way around, right? All right, we're looking for silicon. Yeah, this one is a lot of fun. If you're my best way that I can describe Stationeers is it's kind of like the Dark Souls of survival games in my mind. Like, from just a strictly survival gameplay standpoint, it is one of the most, like, probably difficult and involved games that I am aware of. Like survival games. And for that reason, I think Vintage Story probably gets up in there too, like just with like the level of depth and detail that it has. But they kind of, I don't know, and they occupy different spaces in my brain. I think Stationeers is a lot more like cerebral of trying to like figure out how stuff goes down. But yeah, it's a fun one. I enjoy it, and I feel like because your life support systems are so involved and so custom to you, it feels really good when you set stuff up and you can kind of accomplish these goals. Similarly in Vintage Story, where the way that you get good at the game is by creating systems, rather than like your character leveling up and stuff, and I think that's pretty cool. HVAC in space. Yeah, I think that's a pretty solid summarization. That's a pretty good way to summarize it. That was a fun short circuit there. Venus Brutal Stationeers difficulty is laughably hard. Yeah, man. It will kick your teeth in. And there are elements to this that like I am by no means a pro. Like, there are some seriously wild things that you can do, especially with like phase change and creating like Stirling engines, or functionally like harvesting the energy from the phase change. That stuff is nonsense to me. I barely have the intelligence to even say the vocab words associated with it. We're always going to need more steel, so might as well grab more coal. I think Venus, with every help possibly, you will die. Yeah. I think for the achievements, you don't actually have to go to Venus, so I might have lucked out in that regard. I do think you have to go to Vulcan though, but the achievements for Vulcan are not incredibly difficult. I mean, I think here, hold on. Let me just pause this really fast. Let me pull up actual. I did a little spreadsheet of the achievements. So let's look at that. Oh, I forgot to take my to-do list off. Okay. It looked like my internet dropped. Am I back? I've been having internet problems recently, which is a bummer. It looks like we're back. Okay. So, so here are the achievements. The green ones are ones that I've kind of figured. It's not that any of them are easy. It's just that some of them are easier than other ones. Mainly because like cancel an airlock, smelt steel, these kinds of things are things that you're kind of gonna do already throughout the gameplay. Um, the ones that are marked yellow are ones where it kind of takes specific user input. Like this good morning one, wake up from being unconscious. That one might be one I have to do in multiplayer because trying to create a situation in which you have your character pass out but not die and then wake up is an interesting challenge, unless there is a way to like poison yourself temporarily that I am unaware of. And then you get down into like the red ones, which are harvest plants 1,000 times, which like that wouldn't be hard if you were playing Stationeers over like a year or two or whatever. But if you're trying to do that in like, I'm not speed running, but if you're trying to do things quickly, that takes a concerted effort. Generate 10,000 credits of revenue in trades, and then any of these other ones that's like less than 0.1% of people have accomplished, obviously are probably going to be difficult, like the mine 10,000 cobalt ore. Experience an explosion in hydroponics. That one won't be super difficult. I'm sure I might actually get that one on accident. But anyway, going back to planets, which is kind of what we were talking about. The planets that are required for this is Europa, the Moon, Mars, and Vulcan. And the only two achievements that require Vulcan are die on Vulcan before the end of the first day, which honestly, I will likely be able to do that pretty easily, and then survive an ash storm. And that's it as far as Vulcan is concerned. And so my idea for this playthrough, and again, this is just like an idea. I don't want to get so married to it that like because this is such a long-term plan, like if it doesn't end up happening, like, whatever, but it's mainly just to have fun playing Stationeers, which is what I want to do. But the idea is to start on Mars, try to get that brutal legend achievement by surviving 30 days with Stationeers difficulty on the brutal start. And then Mars would be mainly focused on like the agricultural side of the gameplay. Like the get 1,000 plants and do these other things. And then the game, you can ride a rocket to another planet, but it's almost kind of like a new game plus kind of thing, because the way that I understand it is you can't go back to the previous planet and like hang out with your save. So the idea would be to launch a rocket, get you to the second planet, which would be the moon. And then on the moon, I would focus on a different element of gameplay, which would be trade. And then you can get the trading specific achievements. I think what's it called? It's like Khajiit has wares if you have coin, which is amazing. And then the third planet would be Europa, and that would be kind of finalizing the last bit of the achievements, mainly focusing on like doing rockets, planetary scans, and then mining the 1,000 cobalt ore, which it does say mine. In my head, when I was thinking about this, I know that you can send rockets out on missions to bring you back or I don't know if that counts as mining or not. So we'll have to see. And then finally, head over to Vulcan. At the time that I go to Vulcan, I'll probably open up and invite E-Rock and Swift, and perhaps my brother as well. And because there are 2 achievements that require multiplayer, and then yeah, we'll just die repeatedly on stream for the fun of it. But that's the plan right now. Plans are always subject to change. But yeah. Anyway, a lot of rambling, but now you got the picture where the brain is at. Okay, so I mainly came out here for the silicon necessary to where is my base? I think it's up here. Hello. That's plan A. Yes, that is plan A. We will probably be at plan Z before we get anywhere close to actually having that happen. The idea of doing it in one playthrough is just, I don't know, it just seems cool in my mind, but it might not be feasible. Like if building the rocket to get to another planet ends up taking more time than all of the other parts of working on the planet, then I might just hop in a different save and then just start on a new planet, because it is functionally New Game Plus. Like you're starting over. You can just bring some of your tools with you. I do not recall where my base is. I should not have done the explanation while I was out and about. Okay, I know that I traveled. Okay, let's use a compass here. I know that my base is this way, because when I left the base, I went to the left. How far down the to-do list is take a shower? Well, I didn't make it on that to-do list, the nice one that I modeled, but maybe when we get the water system, that can be something. My base is behind me? Is it? I don't think so. Let's just... I have... Even with the ambient light fixing and stuff on, I still struggle so much with just seeing at night. Well, might as well keep mining stuff. I also have this this huge light right here next to me, because, you know, streaming and whatnot. And so that is also causing glare on my screen. Not super great for trying to see little details in the dark. Yeah, build a beacon. I think in the newer update you actually don't need a beacon. I think, because I think if you have, which I didn't bring my tablet with me, but if you have your tablet, I think it automatically tells you like where is it like it shows you where your lander was or something? Once a storm destroys the lander, then yeah, beacon is a good idea. But I think that they made it so new players didn't have to know about beacons beforehand. Not much else in there. Yes, also worth building lights at the base for sure. Well, I guess we're just gonna wander around till it's daytime. I think I am going to head up this hill just to get high ground to see if I can see some stuff. That's the funny thing about streaming, is your brain is split into a lot of different ways, and so usually when I'm playing, I don't often get lost. It's so funny. I get so lost in real life. My wife says I have directional insanity. I just cannot. Hey, there's the base. I just cannot figure out where I'm going. I need to have a GPS or like something else like that. But in games, I have a pretty solid sense of direction. Don't know why that is. I wish it was the other way around. But when you're streaming and you have like all these other things going on, that ability for object permanence is gone. We are at a relatively low temperature but high pressure. I might have to just start by hooking up that vent now, because I don't want to blow this up. Water system, don't you need insulated pipes? Yeah, likely, yes. Probably sensory overload because you're driving. That might be true. I have, like, my directions I'm not great with, but I will say I do think that I'm a pretty good driver, and I am pretty aware of all the other cars around me. So maybe the direction side of things just gets lost to like, what are all these other cars doing around me? All right, we're gonna get an active vent here. Let's swap back to my tool belt. And let's get some pipes going. Where's just like normal pipe? There we go. Actually, I think in my base I have pipes already. So let's not waste resources if I already have some. There we go. And I have this. No, I think I've had pipes burst because of like phase change out on this guy. I guess if I'm just trying to do... let's not overcomplicate. I need the cable. Let's not overcomplicate it right now. At some point, yes, I want to have a system that I can deal with like pressure and everything else like that. But for right now, I'm not... I was thinking about putting an active or a passive liquid drain on this. Just in case it bursts, which wouldn't be a terrible idea, but let's, I just need to get a basic setup going here, so that way we can lower the pressure, make it less likely to blow up. How are we, what do you mean toxin detected? Whoa, 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 whoa. What is happening? Here, before I just open up my helmet, let's make sure that we're good in here. Yeah. Is it because of my waste tank? Is my waste tank too full? How did pollutant get in my helmet? If it was a closed helmet.
Toxin detected. Pressure critical. Temperature critical. Oxygen critical. Low pressure.
how does that happen? How do you get pollutant in your helmet if your helmet is closed and you have a sealed air tank? Because I opened it in atmosphere but with even this low of a, there are 0.046 moles of pollutant in here, and that was enough to start causing that to happen. Wild. Okay, well, that is unfortunate. You know what? Actually, let's check something here. Yeah, my helmet is open, so that's okay. Uh, I guess there is pollutant in there, but it's literally less than 0.1%, but it is in there. Because I filled this canister from just sucking in the air from in here. Huh. Well, add it to the to-do list, I guess. Okay. Again, that goes back to like the struggle with this game, which is like you kind of got to pick a direction and start moving, uh, because there are so many things that you could be doing at any given time. If you get into like this perfection paralysis, you're screwed. So I'm and as we see, I was trying to get into the water, like insulated water pipes and everything else like that, but I need silicon. And in order to do the silicon, I need to smelt more of it. And I had to go mining. And in order to make it so this doesn't blow up, I need to be able to take the pressure out of the thing furnace. Yeah, lots of fun things. Okay. I have the active vent. I do need a frame. I'm not using this frame, so rather than make a new one, let's just I need a wrench. Okay, and then we take this. I need to have this frame so that way I can put this active vent. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to live in that toxic, never great to live in a toxic environment, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, I do need to run cable to our system here. The never-ending loop of survival games. Indeed. I don't love that, so I'm just gonna... Well, I have this feeling I'm not gonna love it either way. Because if it's underground, I can't see it, but if it's above the ground just floating, it's gonna drive me crazy. So let's set to flatten and see if we can do like that. I'm sure my dude suffocating slowly is bringing back memories of some previous gameplay that we've done in the past. All right, we need to make some cable. I'm paranoid. I guess it is only day 6. I think the first storm. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's Drink some water. Eat some food. That is incredibly frustrating that that little tiny amount is causing that much trouble. Add a pollutant filter. Can you do a pollutant filter? I guess I don't know why I assumed you couldn't. You can do a nitrogen filter. You can do a CO2 filter. That is a good call. Let's just set that up, because that is a quick solution to this problem. Oh yeah, you have to be able to create a pollutant filter, because that's how you do like atmospheric systems and stuff. You have to have the filter in order to get it out. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think about that. All right. So I think in here there's a pollutant filter. Gas filter pollutant, and it takes iron. It doesn't take cable. There we go. Yeah, good call. That was silly of me to not put that together. Actually, I'll keep the low one. We'll just use the rest of that, and I'll keep this other one in my inventory. Okay, so that solves that problem temporarily. And the path to victory is laid with a bunch of temporary solutions. Okay. Let's finish doing our cable. Great. Now let's start pumping out pressure here, and then we'll just kind of reset it so that way we can get our temperature back up. It's like living in Birmingham. I love that. Add a pollutant filter suit so it doesn't build up in your helmet until you filter. Yeah. Sometimes you're so close to something you can't possibly see it. That happens to me a lot. So I appreciate the call out. It's gonna take a second. How hot do you need this silicone to be? Who knows? Well, I could literally look it up because we're waiting. Oh, wait. Is it really? Could I just? Well, it was good that we did this anyway, but I guess I don't know. Coming back to being so close to a problem, you can't see it. Oh, no. Yeah. It wasn't hot enough. We're all good. I'm fine. Honestly. Okay, let's add in more of these guys. There we go. Okay, so now
Power low.
we are going to turn off my light that I had on during the day, swap out these batteries, close these, put that in there, and this was going to make an insulated liquid tank. We need copper. And was it steel? Yeah. And steel. And let's also see what we need in order to start just making some lights. Oh, let's also make a portable light, because that is a lot better than your headset light. Iron and copper. Okay, I'm gonna put that in here. Okay, let's grab the copper, throw it in there. Iron, throw it in there, and let's build a portable light, and then we'll also build some other base lights. At some point I'll get into the whole, alright, let's turn the lights on at night, turn them off during the day, all that kind of fun stuff, but we are not there yet. Sweet, and I will put that in my uniform. Gonna need a battery for that, but actually I think I have an extra battery in here. Yes, I do. Sweet. Alright, and then light. There we go. I'll just start with 2. And then we can go from there. That's the input. I don't want the light on that. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, but we're going to put this light right there, and then this light I will do in a minute when I go inside. Let's take our cable and our wire cutters. Oh man, I love the vintage story video, dude. Please do more. I love your fashion of storytelling. Well, thank you. I think I will be doing more vintage story stuff. I know Rick had said that he wanted to do more stuff like that. So yeah, it would be fun. I think that game is great. If it wasn't evident by my obsession with chiseling, that game is a lot of fun. Okay, we got the tank, we got the ice crusher. We're gonna need pipes. Yeah, I think that's a good starting place. So let's do that. Get some insulated pipes. Steel and silicone. Let's make a few of those. I should probably also get a stacker at some point. Man, is it bad that I see you playing and I just want to help with all the suggestions? No, honestly, I appreciate it. I do think it's funny. Whenever you're kind of like doing like streams or videos and stuff like that, there's this, you're trying to figure out like, okay, who's going to be watching this? Is it going to be people that have never played this before and they're like, oh, that seems like a cool game, what is this about? And you're trying to do almost like a tutorial for people who've never touched a very complicated game. And then you have people who hop in that are like, I have 2,000 hours in this game. Let me tell you all of the things and how to help. And it's an interesting balance to try to get between those, especially when you're scripting videos. It's like, I don't want to be the person who's like, yeah, let me take 5 minutes to explain this to somebody, but like somebody's like, oh, I don't want to watch this. I already know everything that you're about to say. Yeah, it's an interesting, like, you get the full range of education. Okay. I think the tanks are kind of big. I want to put it in a place where it's not going to get in the way. And it's insulated, which means that I don't think I super have to worry about it being exposed to the minus 46 degrees Celsius outside right now. But that means I do need to come up with a way to heat the water. Yeah. All right. Let's think about this for a second. I think I'll probably just kind of start making a simple. I just don't want to have to move it in the future. I think we'll expand the base that way. So let's just throw the water tank here. So let me get a couple more steel frames. This is a terrible spot to just be throwing stuff. I actually might already have some steel frames in the base, so give me one moment. So if the system is insulated, you won't have freezing water. Yeah. So we have steel sheets. Oh no, I didn't have any more steel frames. Okay, well, I guess that's that. Oh, I should probably also turn on the light that I just made and maybe save the battery on my suit light. Yeah, let's keep going with this. As much as I like your stranded alone type videos, I have always liked your co-op stuff when you did SE with your friends. It was hilarious. Oh, well, thank you. I will say it's more difficult to edit and schedule with other people, but it is a lot more fun. I really do enjoy hanging out and like especially recently I've been hanging out more with like Rick and with Preds. I mean, me, E-Rock, and Swift, we still play tons of games together. But yeah. The ice crusher heats the water. Yeah, that's a good point. As someone who usually has no idea what these games are about, I don't really care if there's an explanation for things or not. Good to know. Oh, did my base just lose? Yes, it did. Huh, I guess that light might draw more power than I was thinking. If we want to go inside, we're going to have to use a crowbar. But I think we're okay for the time being. Alright, we got some steel frames. And let's grab our liquid kit. Yeah, I mean, we can always move stuff later. It wasn't the preferred thing to do, but... Oh. I guess I'll put it right there. So that way that data port isn't in a super annoying spot. Then we'll grab that like that. And then let's, we have to grab our crowbar. Force that closed, force this open. And then let's grab this ice crusher and put it there. The lower, nah, let's build it first instead of guessing. Welding torch and iron sheets. Cable coil. And doesn't welding inside, isn't that what contributes to my pollutant in here? Pretty sure. Oh, I didn't need to pull out my wire cutters. Let's just force a habit. You can adjust the temperature set point on the ice crusher so the water output is a certain temp, and then just make sure the system is insulated and you'll be fine. Just keep in mind you'll need a gas output over it. It'll build up with the nitrogen. That is good to know. And that's how you get that achievement for having your hydroponic system blow up. I think I was watching a tutorial the other day where somebody was teaching about something totally unrelated to hydroponics, but in the background of the tutorial, their entire hydroponics system got blown up, and they're like, "What happened?" Okay. Well, we just have to power this, and we'll be good to go. I don't think I've been collecting ice yet, so that will also be something we have to do, but at least that is a start. Yeah, let's do that. That's just for a crate. Did I disassemble the starting crate? I do not recall. Let's just throw this right here because I already have the cable going here.
Waste tank caution.
Okay, and the concern here is that I know this is going to have pollutant in it, but I want to capture my CO2. So I'm just going to open this in here. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Yeah, we're going to have to filter out the pollutant. But in order to start growing crops, you need the CO2. Although, I think on Mars, you have CO2. So maybe I'm worrying about something that shouldn't be worried about. Yeah, definitely going to have to make a... Honestly, it seems like that's the next thing that we should probably get going on. Because we are trying to get into food. I should make a... I'm trying to think of the best way to do it. I could start with a portable scrubber, and then we could work to a more sophisticated system. I think that's probably the move. Because, yeah, I want to be able to, like, take off my suit and stuff. And so rather than trying to make an air conditioner and get all that stuff going. Because we are already running into power problems. So I think a portable air conditioner is going to be the move. Let's take the steel out of there. Is it portable scrubber, not air conditioner? Oh, it takes Invar. That's not great. Okay. Invar isn't incredibly difficult to get. It requires, well, yeah, I mean, I think we're not going to be able to grow crops until we get it, and it doesn't really seem like there's an alternative. So, I think we just got to start planning for that. So, let's take a look here. If we go into ingot, right? The base ingots are things like, well, I think most of you who are here seemingly know a lot about the game, but you got like iron, gold, copper. These are just one in, one out. Your first alloy is going to be steel, which takes, I think it's like 3 to 1 for iron and coal to make steel.
Air tank low.
Uh-oh. My air tank is low. Let's refill the air tank really fast. From this polluted... Oh, yeah, no, I actually really am going to need to move quickly on this whole scrubbing thing because soon,
Oxygen low.
if I
Air tank
keep...
critical. Low pressure. Oxygen critical.
If
Pressure
I keep
critical.
doing what I'm
Low
doing...
pressure.
Oh. No. Don't you do that. What is the... Pressure on that pipe isn't great. Pretty sure the pipes have a internal pressure limit of 60. Why don't we just set this to outward and pump out a little bit so that way it doesn't want to explode. Oh, hey, good. Look at that. Pipe is totally cool now. Don't you say boom. Don't you say boom. No booms. Not right now. Okay. Anyway, going back to what I was saying about ingots and stuff. Alloys. Invar and solder and stuff like that get a little bit more annoying because it's not necessarily about the ratio of ore to make your alloy. It's more about the specific temperatures and pressures. Most of your normal stuff, it's just as long as it's over a certain like temperature, you're fine. But when you get into the alloys, they kind of are picky. So Invar, I'm going to need iron and nickel. What else did we need for the scrubber? Gold, steel, Invar, and solder. So I'm going to write this down so I don't forget. Invar needs iron and nickel.
Hydration critical.
Oh, brother.
Low pressure.
Yeah.
Oxygen critical.
Yep. I have more oxite actually in my mining belt. I should just throw that in here so that way we can get the pressure back up. There we go. All right. Yeah. Thank you, JP Mystic. Yeah, we had this whole thing earlier about filters. I have a pollutant, so I need a pollutant filter, a CO2 filter, a nitrogen filter. I have an extra carbon dioxide one there. Um, okay, going back. Goodness gracious. Iron nickel to make Invar, and then solder is iron and lead. Okay. I don't have a very sophisticated furnace setup right now, but I think we can make it work because I can uh, well, I bet we can make it work. It'll just be require a little finesse to do it.
Hunger caution.
Yeah. Anything else you want to bug me about? Okay, we are not hungry anymore. We are running out of water bottles. I should probably make a water bottle filler. But we are not currently thirsty anymore. I'm going to have to go on a mining trip. So let's get rid of these steel frames. I'm just going to drop these because they're... That one's full. This one's empty. This one's empty. This one's empty. And that one's empty. This one, let's put the food and stuff there. There we go. Going back to what we were talking about earlier when I got lost, if I take out this Atmo thing and I go tracker, I think that the a canyon overlook. How do you switch? Isn't it just scrolling? Okay, so maybe I do need to make a beacon. I thought the tracker for some reason had a thing that would show you to your lander in the new update. I say new update. I don't know when that update came out. Okay, iron. I need nickel and lead. It seems like I have some iron already, so we're doing okay there. Yeah, nickel and lead. Let's do it. Sorry, played this a lot and broke it a lot in the past. Oh, this game is all about doing that. And I appreciate the shout, man, because that is definitely something. I mean, I made the mistake earlier. You weren't even wrong about calling it out. You just, the time. If you were there like 10 minutes earlier, that would have been a very timely and relevant piece of advice. Let's see about making a beacon, just because I'm paranoid now. Would it be in the electronics printer? That also requires solder. Okay, well, I guess. I mean, if we're going out at night, we remember which direction we're traveling. Not the best, but it's kind of what we got to do. All right, we are looking for nickel and lead. I am actually just going to leave this stuff in here. It won't blow away, and it gives me more space to find stuff since I'm going out anyway. Okay, food looks good. Water looks good. I think I have an extra CO2 filter. Nitrogen and pollutant filter are doing okay. Life support battery is okay. I think we can safely go on a mining mission. Okay, and we are going towards the... I'm assuming north is 0. That's oxide. I think we can try to fill up the stack that we have of silicon as well. Get him to make atmospherics kit. What do you mean atmospherics kit? I'm currently working up to getting a scrubber. What is an atmospherics kit? Atmospheric kit, atmospherics. Air conditioner. Oh. Why is it that the portable version of this needs more advanced alloy, but the more permanent version of it doesn't? Okay. I just it's because I assumed that you would need the alloy for the more, I guess in my mind, advanced version. I guess we don't need Invar and solder to start filtering our atmosphere. Well, I appreciate the advice there. Portable versions are more expensive because you can move them around. I suppose that does make sense. I guess I just had it backwards in my head. Miniaturization is expensive? Possibly. Okay. Let's get a kit. Blah, blah, blah. Kit atmospherics. Am I out of gold? It's in there. Gold. Let's bring this stuff out as well. I thought I had a crate because it would be, because I have a crate. Oh, that is the crate. I thought I made a crate mount, but I suppose I didn't. It would be nice to put that back out there and then keep our ore in there so it doesn't like blow away when a storm eventually hits. All right, gold. All right, so the idea then is that we're gonna make this kit atmospherics. We're gonna put a, what is it, a filter? What did it say? Filtration. Long-standing device. Okay, I don't want the lore. I just has an input and a filter output as well as an unfiltered outlet. So it'll take it in. I guess what I'm trying to get at is if I put the filter in for pollutants, then I can have a pipe that just goes to a passive vent on the roof and it will just suck the pollutant out, but then it will passive vent back into the room without an issue. I don't need any active vents or any kind of thing like that. I can just set it up as passive. Things are getting a little squishy here, but let's do this. Yeah, just make a locker kit, yeah. I suppose it's true. It's it's not that I don't want to do that. I obviously do want to do that. It's just that, like, it's all of the things. I put it on backwards. It's like I want to just finish one project and then my brain will be like, we're done. And then I can move on to something else. So it's like, okay, stop, make this little improvement over here, continue. Yeah. Nope, that's the way. And it was filtration. Can I not? I wish I could have the inputs and outputs going the other way, but I guess it doesn't really matter. I just want to have easy access to the other stuff. That's fine. That's fine. Screwdriver and cable. Hooray! Actually, let's do it like that. We're never done. Only starting. Use the filter with O2 to get clean O2 tanks. Yes. Yeah. 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 Okay. Give me 1 second to think about this. Because it's like, what I want is 3 things. I want to not have pollutant in my base. I want oxygen, preferably pure oxygen, in my suit tank. And I want to have a mixture of gas in my base so that way I can grow crops. Now, can I accomplish all 3 of those things at the same time with 1 filter? That is the question. That is the question. Let's look up what this says. The filtration use is based on a long-standing system instead of based on older design, blah, blah, blah. The device has nonetheless proven it indispensable for Stationeers atmospheric systems as it can filter 2 gases simultaneously from a single pipe network using a dual filter array. The unit has an input and a filter output as well as an unfiltered outlet for any residual gases. So I suppose one way that we could do it would be uh-oh. What happened to the live stream? Oh, well, people are responding. I never use a filter for the Putin, just pressure and liquid drain. Use filtration to get a clean O2 bottle. Use the filter with O2 to get clean O2. You can clean pollutant with pressure? What are you talking about? Use a filter to sap the O2 you need for your O2 tank. Leave CO2 and N2 in your base for your plants. I have no idea what you mean about cleaning pollutant with pressure. What is the pollutant liquefaction point? What? You guys want me to get into phase change right now? I can't. I I may be dumb here, but Uh, I can't turn the pollution in my base into. Oh, are you saying pressurize the pipe? That the pollutant, like, suck it in and then pressurize it, and then it will turn into a liquid and drop out? Yes, it's easy. Nothing about what you're saying is easy. A filter exists. You plop a filter in there, and then uh it will just pump it out. But we're saying I need to pressurize a pipe and get it to a certain temperature, because it's not just about pressure. It's about temperature as well. Yeah, no, I know about the passive liquid drain. I okay. I hear what you're saying, and I understand the concept, but I do not know if I currently have the skill set to execute it in a timely manner. So in order to get us moving in the right direction, I'm just going to create a pollutant filter, pump that out of the base, and then we will go from there, because that's just how we need to get things started. So I'm going to make a passive vent that goes in there, and then I'm going to make a passive output vent and put the thing. But your base is already 16 degrees C, and I'm so happy about that. But I I I think that you believe in me too much. It's a good problem to have, but uh, I need to be able to move forward, and then maybe I'll in between streams I can go watch some tutorials and educate myself on pollutant phase change and pressure. You were already doing it. We're definitely here to help. Okay, so let's make a uh, pollutant filter here. Make some passive vents and some pipes. I'm going to need to smelt more iron. We have faith in you and definitely don't expect it to fail catastrophically. Well, I appreciate it. Don't know if I believe you, but I appreciate it. Iron is what I needed. And I think, do I have stuff to heat up? Yeah, I do. What are we at temperature and pressure wise? It's simple to us with hundreds of hours of playtime. Yeah, I don't know how many. I may be over 100, but I don't think I'm hundreds yet for Stationeers. But yes, I'm so glad somebody said that, because because I feel like I like complicated games. But every time I go and watch a tutorial to try to learn some of the basics of these complicated games, I have somebody who's an engineer in real life saying, "Oh, it's super simple, really really easy." And then they go into well, I was trying to think of an example of something complicated in another game that somebody says is easy, but how about just phase change of different atmospheric, like moles of atmospheric things, molecules, or whatever the noun that goes there is. I play Stormworks too, and I watch a lot of. I think the guy's channel is like 454. It's some number. He's an engineer in real life, and I watch a lot of his stuff. And whenever I get into like modular engines, and then like the fuel to air ratio of your modular engines, and working with PIDs, I think is what they're called. I'm just like, what is happening? I'm a YouTuber. Okay, pipes. Like super simple. Like, I did not go to college for engineering. What you and I call super simple, different things. The KISS principle. Filtration is pretty simple, but simple. Just put in a filter and output the filtered thing. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Oh, I actually need to make a third passive vent. Because in order to get the gases that aren't filtered. Because I have an input vent, an output vent, and then the passive output vent. Not passive output, the unfiltered output vent. Right? Because, yeah, unfiltered, filtered, input. Filtered being, I put the pollutant filter in there, the filtered, this is filtered out, which means that's going to be the pollutant that we put outside. Unfiltered should be the CO2, nitrogen, oxygen, and then input is just input. Yes, I do need to definitely make a proper airlock, though, for sure. Because you're right, I am slowly venting my base every time. All right, I'm wanting to make it not super ugly, and so I want to put the passive vent, the one for inside right here, the one for outside up there, and then the other inside one, I don't know where. Maybe like up above it? That's still kind of ugly. Oh well. More pipes. You started brutal without knowing the game. Whoa, 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 whoa. I think that's a little bit of a shot. I do know the game. I am not an expert at the game. But I know enough to survive. And I've recently come to learn that it is unwise to wait until you are an expert at something to start something. The only way that you become an expert at a thing is by doing it. Face change was a middle school project to me. Yes, the concept of things changing phases, you are 100% correct, is a middle school principle. The idea of if you have solid ice and it gets to a certain temperature, then it changes to liquid water, and then it changes to gas, and the whole like water cycle and everything else like that. 100% with you. The temperature and the added difficulty when it comes to understanding that principle in a pressurized closed loop system is a little bit different. That's input, that's output. Yeah, so this is, at least to me, that's a difference. Alright. And here's the deal. I appreciate the advice and I will be taking it at some point. But I know that it's going to take me a minute to figure it out. And maybe I am making it out to be a bigger deal than it actually is. But I need more time to invest in it. And time is not something I feel like I have a ton of because I have so many other side projects that I'm trying to work on. So rather do it the way that I know how and then optimize in a minute. Except this doesn't want to turn to be facing outside. There we go. Absolutely love the PZ videos, man. Insane stuff. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. And there we go. Just like that, we are good. Just to double check, this is the filtered. This is the unfiltered. Yeah, let's grab our atmospheric analyzer here. Where did I put it? There it is. Switch out the cartridge. Network. No, not network. Atmosphere. Just to make sure. I think I did it right, but you know, better to check.
Oxygen low.
Well,
Oxygen critical.
let's it is going down just incredibly slowly. Should I do an active vent there? Make a cow to put on the end of the pipe. Oh. Which on the end of the there are 3 pipes. Which one? Non-insulated pipes where you're using them is going to lead to loss in your HAB temperature over time. So you'll want to replace those pipes eventually with insulated. That is a good call. I appreciate the heads up. Are we saying cow on the I wish I had like a color. Oh, I don't think I left anything. I don't think I left any of my ores just sitting around outside. At least hopefully not.
Hydration critical.
Well, it doesn't really matter now. Not like I can change it. You can make a cowl to put directly on a pipe end so you don't need a wall to hang a vent on. Yeah. Yeah, I could have also just put this guy right here, like on the floor. Or whatever. My main thing is just speeding up this process because it is quite slow, and it's not like we had that much pollutant in the base to begin with. But we have to wait for the storm to end because I don't really want to go out there in the storm. Okay, but you know what? This is a good opportunity to start thinking about. Oh, that is intense. You can see that? Look at that. That's kind of fun. All right, let's start looking. Let's pull the to-do list back up. I haven't been melting ice for water. The base atmosphere is fine. It's not great. We don't have any like heat management right now. No air conditioner stuff set up, but it's fine. Haven't done airlock, haven't done battery. We put a single active vent on the furnace, but definitely haven't fully set it up. I think that the big thing that I want to get into doing is growing crops because and I need to make a water bottle filler.
Hunger caution.
Water or isn't there like a drinking fountain now? Or maybe there are always has been. I just saw a tutorial and somebody was like, check out my drinking fountain. I do hope he moved his air tank inside. I was brutal start, so I didn't start with an air tank. At least not one that I found. When I started, I was looking for one. Let's see. Yeah, that's why I made this thing because I didn't have an air tank. Oh yeah, I was gonna look up water. What's it? Drinking fountain. Drinking fountain. It's really easy to make. Yeah, I unless I'm crazy, but when I started, I was looking around and all I had was a single crate of stuff inside and nothing else. I recorded it, so I'll have to go back and look. Maybe I did miss it, but yeah, I think in the brutal start, at least on I don't know if it's different for the different planets, but I didn't have one, and that was one of the reasons why I died so fast. Was because I was like, oh, I still have time, and I was so used to having so many luxuries from dropping in on a normal playthrough. I will say though, now being on the other end of it, I do think Brutal Start is more. It's challenging, obviously, pretty brutal.
Oxygen low.
But on a planet where you're not like instantly going to die from atmospheric stuff, and the temperature, isn't, hey, this is hell. I think that the Brutal Start is cool because it kind of forces you to learn systems. I mean, not that the other one doesn't, but I feel like in a normal start. Wait, what? Oh, it's because my CO2 filter ran out. There we go. I feel like in a normal start, you you kind of get a lot of things, and the figuring out is more like, okay, what do I do with this thing, rather than you kind of bumping up against the survival stuff. I guess for me, in learning this game, I didn't know what to focus on first, but playing in the brutal start, once you kind of understand how the game works a little bit, it really forces you to prioritize, like, okay, what is the first thing that you need? Because airlock is good, but if you don't start with an oxygen tank, your time that you spend with your hydraulic pipe bender is better set on how do I fill up my air tank so I can go back outside. Because if you have a pressurized base, at least for me, if you have a pressurized base, it's like great, but if I can't fill up an air tank, I can't go outside. I cannot progress. If you stay in an O2 area inside and take off your suit, you save water and food in the long run. That is definitely. I mean, yeah, the whole I need to shower and stuff. I definitely want to get to the point where I can comfortably take off my suit and not have to worry about temperature or pressure or anything else like that. But as it stands right now, if I just open my helmet for a little bit, my guy gets sick. So that is something we will work up to for sure. All right, is the storm done? Looks like it. Okay, my suit life support is doing okay. This guy is doing not super great. How are we doing on the other stuff? I still have 3 more water bottles, so I'll make the drinking fountain in a second, and I still have 88% in that one. Okay. Hold on. Now that the storm's over, I gotta think. What is the next step? We want to start farming. I need to get ice to melt into water. I need hydroponics trays. I need a grow light. And I need the venting of this pollution to be faster, which I think might be done with an active vent. That is that. Yes, I also need to drop some more oxide to get my pressure up higher. And I have oxide in my on me right now, so I'll just do that. Yeah. Okay. So, question for the people with the 1,000 hours plus in this game. Um, what do you do with your empty filters? Do you just keep them? I know that there's a mod that lets you scrub them, like you can shake them out and reuse them, but I don't have it because I felt like that was kind of a game-changing thing. Usually, what I've been doing is I just throw it in my furnace and burn it so it doesn't just take up place in my inventory. Recycler. I don't know if I've done much with recycler. Okay, I want an active vent. Okay. We also want hydroponics. Trays. Empty filters are bait for the stormfish? Ah, yes. I think I still have more insulated pipes inside, so we'll do that. Grow light is probably in this guy. And that does require an electrum. You don't.
Waste tank caution.
Yeah. You don't need a grow light, right? If you have windows, it'll just be slower. Or because Mars, you don't get like full sun. Let's see. I'll do that with that in a second. Let's take this active vent. Let's swap this passive. For this active. I don't love where the cable is gonna go, but this is a temporary anyway. That's what I have to remind myself. It's like in Factorio. You're like, this is your starter base. It's supposed to be bad. This is our starter base in here. It is supposed to be bad. This is until you get like incredibly more pollutant back in the hab. How did I get more pollutant back in the hab? Temporarily permanent. Yeah, exactly. Alright, I gotta make more cable. Your airlock doesn't vent. Oh, outside pollutant back in the... I see. I see what you're saying. Well, that's why we have our air thing in there. That's why I'm trying to make this active vent work. But yes, I do need to make an airlock. I know. I knew. In fact, I know so much about... We're doing really great with words right now. I will work on my airlock. It's on the to-do list. It's something that will be helpful. Let's just get it done. Stop putting it off. Okay, so in order to do that, we need an advanced airlock. Circuit board, iron and gold, because we need, when you're going inside, it vents the bad outside stuff back outside, and when you are inside going outside, it takes the good inside stuff and keeps it inside. That's how science works. I need to split these up so that I can use more than one printer at a time, but here we are. Airlock before farming, you'll thank us. Yes, it is true. It is true. I currently don't have a recycler, so this is going in there because I don't want to deal with it. All right. We're going to need a vent outside. passive vent outside. I'll just go right like that. I'm gonna need another passive vent. I also need a console, so I might as well just print out this stuff. I'm gonna need a gas sensor. And then one more passive vent, and then 2 active vents. And I think that's everything. Because you don't need a data chip anymore. Do I want it on that side or this side? Let's put it on that side for fun. He's locking in, chat. Oh yeah, better believe it. I'm gonna leave that open for stuff. I also need a labeler so I know which door is interior and exterior. Yeah, you don't need a data chip anymore. They've set it up with this screwdriver thing now. Okay, active and passive vents. Iron, gold, copper. And the question is, do I still have pipes, or are we out? I probably am out, so let's just make some more pipes. Always need more pipes. And I'm just going to throw these in there so I don't have to keep holding on to them. Yeah, labeler is probably not necessary, but it sure is helpful. For example, I didn't use a labeler on my solar tracking over here, and I regret it every day. But it works. So I figured it out, so it's fine. But I can get a labeler in here, or do I need a tool workbench? If I need a tool workbench, then I am not going to worry about it. Labeler. Label? Do I not know how to spell label? Hand tools. I don't, I guess. Nope. Electronics printer. I guess I'm gonna need this. Hold on, waste tank. Hold on. Iron, gold, copper. Iron, gold, copper. And I'm gonna throw the other stuff in there anyway, because I don't want it to blow away if there's a storm. That's why I need my workshop to be inside, so I can just leave stuff on the floor or in overhead compartments later. And I think I have I think I have a battery, an extra small battery in here. There we go. Oh, that's not how that works. There we go. Let's just open this. Let's just open. Okay. So this is going to be exterior door. I'm just gonna do A, because eventually we will have other doors, and knowing which one we're dealing with is good. Although having them on different networks would probably be better, but you know. Let's get that going. We have my active vents and passive vents. Active vent here, active vent. I don't want to bump into that, so we'll just put this one here. Yeah, I probably should use insulated pipes, as was stated earlier. Temporary solutions, baby. That's how we roll. This is, where's my labeler? Where, there it is. This is going to be active vent, the interior, active vent A, exterior active vent A. Okay. Sorry, chat. I'm, as they say, locked in. Let me just finish this really fast. And then I think it just needs the pipes, and we need to do the cable, right? That doesn't look like it connected. Do I need one more?
Oxygen low.
Seems right. What's the base looking like right now? Okay. Let's get our cables. I had cables. They're there. For these guys. Okay. Interior active vent, exterior active vent, exterior door, interior door. We have a gas sensor. We have a console. I think we are... Let's get my screwdriver out and set to configure mode. Okay. I guess I do still need that out. And let's do... Don't need the lights. Active vent... exterior door A, exterior, interior door A, interior. Where are my... There we go. Exterior, active vent, interior active vent, gas sensor. And I believe that is it. So let's turn this back to console. Hooray! We did it! He's too focused on building an airlock. Breathing is not optional. Okay, let's see what everybody was saying. Just wait till you learn about batch commands. I've not messed a ton with it, but I do intend throughout this. That's one of the reasons why I added the that consoles mod, is because the consoles mod is cool enough for me to want to learn MIPS, so that way I can set up my own custom consoles. Because the idea of being able to walk into a room and just have a command center with all these custom consoles and like seeing how all the stuff in the base is working from one center location, that the coolness factor of that is worth learning assembly to get to. Yeah. Okay, labeler, let's put that in there for now. Set my pressure thresholds. Yeah, you're probably right. Yes, you are definitely right. What do I want these to be? It doesn't matter. We ran out of power. Dang it. Yes. Yeah. I might just set them to 0, honestly. It's more just about making it so the air inside gets brought back in. Yeah. That's honestly... Well, we're waiting. We are waiting, and we will set them when we have power again. Whew. This seems like a good time to hydrate. Gotta get those electrolytes. Yeah, my dude is bummed about not showering. I have not, well, I was about to say I've never been that upset for not showering, but I've actually been on a camping trip where I haven't showered in several days, and I was pretty bummed about it. Just because, not because I'm a diva, which is true, but in that regard, it was just because I stank so bad. I was like, I don't want to be around me. Which is I'm sure something that all of you wanted to know about me, and now you know. And now we're here. Thanks for being here. All right, airlock is set up. Let's our air tank was struggling, right? No, we just need a new nitrogen filter. Okay. Oh, I also never did the cable for that. Do I have cables left? Not really.
Hunger caution.
Yeah. Let's get some food and water. Okay. Yeah, let's go get another nitrogen filter before my dude gets too upset.
Oxygen low.
Yeah, I know. It wouldn't be a bad idea. Oh, wow, we are... It was really quick to be upset. Once I start losing cognition, I am screwed. Are we good? We happy? Nice. It wouldn't be a bad idea to just like set up a little container, something small in here that just has extra filters for me, just in case. But hopefully soon I won't need that the pollutant filter on my person. Okay. Water and hydroponics systems. Now that we are doing stuff, let's get our. Do we have copper anymore? Or are we out? If we are out of copper, then that means we will not be able to make any more cables. And it looks like that is the reality we are living in. Oh, but I have copper over there. Let's grab this. I could have just flushed my helmet. Yeah, but if I flush my helmet while I'm outside, and I still don't have a filter, I would still be in a bad way, wouldn't I? Or condition your O2 tank. Hey, you know what? That's a great point. Thank you, thank you for the friendly reminder about the O2 problem. Yes, that is a luxury that will, breathing, the luxury of breathing, that we will have soon. Trademark, soon. Right, no, flushing, yeah. Flushing my suit will give me new air from my air tank, but if my air tank has bad stuff in it, oh, that's not what I wanted. If my tank has the bad stuff in it and I don't have a filter for it, it's just gonna cause the same problem to happen again. Let's go a few more. And that's fine, right? Yeah, that's fine. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna do 2 sets of 50 so I can keep one of them in a different thing. So put that in there, start working. Nope. Whoops. Start that in there. Let's get some cables. Get that going. And then let's put this in there so I just have it. So, question, can you store your I guess later you don't need to have ice because you would just have it in a tank and then you would use it to fill in and stuff. So, might be irrelevant, but still a question worth asking. When you're on a planet not like Europa, is there a way to store ice outside of a mining belt or like a mining backpack? Or is it that's really the only option? Because I know, like, if you're at night and it's like negative whatever, it won't melt in your hand or anything. And so assumingly the same principle applies to Europa. But I didn't know if there was, I mean, you could put it in a backpack and then just put your backpack in a cabinet. But I think you get what I'm trying to ask. I don't think that's going to work out that way. So we're going to have to go up and around this super weird roundabout way. And I don't think we're going to be able to go perpendicularly through there, which means I have to wrap the wire in front of the glass. Bad way. See, now all of a sudden learning the phase change of pollutants is more important to me because this wire bugs me. That was a joke. Don't get at me. Ice doesn't exist on Vulcan. It's a great point. Okay, set inward, turn on. What? Did I mess that up somehow? We're not out of power. The base is still on. There we go. I missed the spot. Okay. So, let's check this out now. Where did my analyzer go? That's working things a little bit faster. Sweet. Okay. So now that we are getting pollutant out, we have our airlock. We have an ice crusher. I do need to go get ice for it, but we're good. Let's think about potatoes. Potato. Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew. So we need to get our pressure up to 50, no, minimum grow. Minimum ideal grow, but minimum grow. Yeah, we can get this base up to 50. That's not a problem. We do need to heat it up a bit more. But that will just kind of happen naturally as the sun keeps coming up. Although, as we filter, it's also cooling at night, so... what's the pressure of the pipe network of your filtration? Right now it's 22 to 35. The pressure of the pipes, can they go up to 60? What is this? Plants before water and CO2 intake? Look, man, I gotta make food. I gotta survive. No, I'm pretty sure. Man, don't say stuff like explosions. You can't say things like that. And again, temporary. I can turn this off, but I'm pretty sure with the passive vents in here. And I will also say that I learned, I don't know if this is true, I haven't tested it on my own, but I was watching a tutorial and somebody said that, yeah, see, 60. Somebody was saying that your active vent it's supposed to, what is somebody saying? It doesn't, I don't know where they got that information, but when I was watching one of these tutorials, somebody was saying that the active vent has an automatic safety shutoff when a pipe network reaches 50 kPa. But yeah, see, active vent, external safety is set to 0, internal safety is set to 50, not kPa, excuse me, MPa. It is automatically set, so it shouldn't burst your pipes just by having an active vent on. If it overpressurizes, its safety setting is 10 less than your pipe. Where you run into problems, I think, I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I can speak super educatedly about all of the areas in which you run into problems. I have run into them before, but I have to think about a specific scenario in which that happens. But just having a vent on a thing, I don't think is how that works. Anyway. Yes, I will continue to vent my my waste tank in here. So we will. It's more manual, but we will continue to have CO2. I know that there is CO2 in the atmosphere, so that is something that I can set up later. So we pump CO2 into a greenhouse. I just want to start growing crops so I can make sure that I have enough food. Because I have ended runs before because I just didn't have enough food to survive, and I need to survive for 30 days without dying in order to get the brutal survivor achievement, which is what I'm going for. Okay, let's go back to potatoes. Potato. They're relatively hardy. How much CO2 do they need? 8.64 moles per hour. How many do we have? Ooh, okay. Not enough. So I think that's whoever was calling me out was right, which is something I hate to admit, but I think you're right. I'm going to have to. My suit isn't enough. Let's turn this on again. Sad, no boom. Yes, but you can burst your pipes if the network is too small. I did not know that. Ran out of power again. Make your water system before, no. Yeah, I have. I mean, it's not great, but I do have this to melt the ice, get water in that tank. And then we'll have the water come in over here. And somebody was telling me that because the ice crusher melts your ice into water, it gets to a temperature that it should be somewhat. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Steal CO2 from outside and you'll be fine. Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Somebody was saying. $50 MPa, like it. What? Has a crusher? Yeah. Okay. A lot of things coming at me at once. Let's hold on. Let's do brain stuff. Okay. We have liquid. Hopefully, the temperature on the liquid will be good. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I mean, I don't actually have the liquid yet, but I have the system for the liquid. When I go out mining again, I will look for stuff so we can start melting that. If I'm going to be running an ice crusher pretty consistently for a little while, probably need to get my power grid sorted. Yeah. I suppose. I suppose. Uh, I could make another filtration system. That pulls CO2 from outside, puts it inside, and then I have to get into, and then set it up so it turns off when my uh, okay. Let's see. Uh, Using the system to empty the tank versus opening the tank. Um, so the problem with my current tank situation, as far as like my suit goes, is that because I was because I'm using temporary solutions and then dealing with things as I go, I still have pollutant in my air tank, and therefore also in my waste tank. So I can't get rid of this. I mean, I guess I can vent my waste tank outside, but then I don't get the benefit of the CO2. But there's CO2 outside, so maybe that's not as big of a deal. That might be the way to do it. So I can move my filtration system now that we don't have pollutant in the base anymore, and then set it up so it pulls CO2 from outside, has a CO2 filter, put the filtered end on the inside of the base now, and then the unfiltered end back outside, so all of the stuff that isn't CO2 stays outside. I just need to make it so the CO2 doesn't get to a level that's high enough to start killing me. Uh, and it would be nice to do that through logic, um, which means I would need to get into. I mean, I could probably do that with just IO kits, logic kits, but I need to not be intimidated by the IC10 stuff, by MIPS. So maybe because I do have people who have a lot of experience in the game, maybe just getting into MIPS to do something as simple as when, like, use a gas sensor when this amount of gas is in, turn off the filtration. That's what we're going to do. No way to set up a pollutant. We have a pollutant. I mean, I think you could theoretically, but what we're saying is the pollutant in the it already takes the pollutant out. Now that the airlock is up and running, pollutant shouldn't be getting in the base anymore, because when I go into the airlock, if I'm coming in from the outside, that air gets pumped back outside, and if I'm leaving the base from the pressurized room to the airlock, it'll pump that good air back into the base. That's how the advanced airlock works. But yeah, I need to with the lack of power, the plants will probably eat the CO2 before it kills you. That's probably a good point. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's just make sure that my All right, I'm gonna write this down so I don't screw it up. because we're dealing with atmospherics that if I and I have to like switch out my suit stuff. So I'm actually gonna go and I'm gonna make a new canister for air. And then because our interior right now is clean, it would be if I had power. Once the pollutant is out of here, I know that the ideal, what we're working towards, I know, will be just straight oxygen in my canister. But for now, I'm going to make a new canister. Once the pollutants are out of here, I'll fill it up. So that way, with my waste tank, I can open it up in here with the CO2 or whatever. That's not super important. That's just going to be something that I do, so I don't have to I can brain dead, not have to think about it. And then we don't have to deal with pollutants in any of my systems for the time being. So I'm gonna get a new canister, and then I will fill it with cleaner air, and then I can open both my old air tank and my old waste tank outside. No more pollutants in my suit. Great. I can get rid of the pollutant filter in my suit and switch it out for maybe another nitrogen filter or CO2 filter. It doesn't matter. That's step one. At that point, because there's no more pollutant in our base, I can take this system down. I guess I could just leave it where it is so it's not super annoying, but I will make it so the vent here is outside. I will set a CO2 filter here, make it so the filtered CO2 comes inside, and then have this vent be facing outside. And so that way we're pumping CO2 in for the plants. And then boom, we have CO2 coming in the base, and we have plants. And then if the CO2 ever gets to a point where I can't open up my helmet inside, we will turn it off. But at that point, we're going to hopefully be having plants that will be producing oxygen and eating CO2, and that will be good. And I will likely run out of power again before the CO2 gets so bad that I can't survive, because we are running into consistent power problems. Yes. The plan. I zoned out. Can you explain it again? Honestly, I don't even know if I could. Oh, and the good news is I already have the filter that I want, so that's there. All right, the sun is coming up. We'll get power here again in a second. We're good. I do need a station battery. Yeah, it's on my look. There's my little to-do list. The power and batteries. Honestly, I thought that was going to be something that I was going to work on before the atmospheric system, but my desire. I knew that getting the farm up and running is something that I have struggled with in the past, so I knew I needed to get a jump on it before I ran out of food and then died. So yeah, but for sure I definitely need a battery. Okay, let's just turn this stuff off for a minute while we wait for the solar panels to get going. All right, I would like a canister, a new canister. Thank you. All right. I need to run this a little bit longer. I don't know if I'm going to need a whole lot of external stuff than that. Yeah, and then we're gonna need to go get ice. Okay. So, let's turn this system back on. And let's get rid of the last bit of pollutant that we have in this spot. Learn to breathe with no air. Honestly, if I really wanted to make this significantly easier on myself, I should have just played as the robot. Because at that point, it's just power. You just need to make sure that you have batteries. And you don't have to eat, and you don't have to breathe. It's just about managing battery power. Could you use the tank fill you have to empty your tanks? This guy? I suppose I could, yeah, if I set it to go out, but I guess that's true. Okay. Yeah, I guess in that case I didn't need to do this because it's not gonna have so much pollutant that I can't open my helmet. Alright, yeah, that's a good point. Alright, let's set this outward and air tank.
Air tank critical. Oxygen low. Low pressure. Oxygen
What?
critical. Pressure critical.
What?
Low pressure.
Dude.
Pressure critical. Low pressure. Cognition low.
Did I set it the wrong way?
Air tank critical.
Son of a... I
Cognition
set it the
critical.
wrong way!
Health critical. Subcritical.
I just pressed the wrong button. Dang it! Dang it.
Pressure critical.
Thank you, robot voice. I know my pressure is critical. Thank you. I said it the wrong way. Well, there goes that. All right. Well, now you don't have any flutes in your base. Actually, that's wrong. Now that it blew up like a bomb, there were tons of pollutants in my base because it was no longer pressurized. So outside was on the... There's a lot of outsides on the insides. Cool, man. Okay, well... I guess that's a good point. Now would be probably a pretty solid time to determine whether or not I feel like, I don't know. For me, yes, I could load an autosave, but I feel like in the spirit of like doing the survive 30 days on Stationeers difficulty with brutal start, if you just reload your autosave, that it's like, I don't know. I feel like that kind of ruins the spirit of the challenge. Yeah, this will be my, I think, 4th or 5th restart. So, but that was further than I had gotten previously. But you're right. Let's do it. So Stationeers difficulty. Let's do 100% live stream. Let's go brutal difficulty. Yeah, and see, you do not start with an oxygen tank. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Okay, I gotta get my brain back into move quickly, because I was moving a little slower. I mean, at the start, your systems are not quite the same, but yeah, getting the thing to refill your oxygen tank at the beginning is important. Okay, step 1. Let's bring the pressure down in my suit to, I think, 40. And then I can bring the temperature down too to, I forget what that one is. A suitable suit temperature. But let's do that. Okay. And we have a few days before a storm comes out, so let's just drop some stuff that I'm not going to be using right off the bat. And to consolidate, let's get, I don't know, put that in there. And immediately, let's start mining. We need iron. So I'm not going to be reading chat for a little bit. I will try to glance over because I'm sure that people are going to try to give me solid suggestions. I mean, I guess, you know what? I'll just pause it. I can do that. I'll pause it and I'll try to read. But I am kind of in a let's go fast mode right now, so I can't do a whole lot here. I need the gold to be able to make the, I think, electronics printer. Okay, and then I need copper and silicon. All right. I think silicon is necessary for the pipe bender. Whatever, that's enough. And then, yeah, copper. I'm just gonna get 2 stacks and then run back. Okay, so, and then I obviously need volatile and oxide, so I can get this going. Actually, you know what? While I I'm gonna set up a little platform to get my arc thing going with a solar panel, and then I'll have it start smelting the iron, and then I'll go get the volatile and stuff, and have that running in tandem. So let's go iron frames, and we're just gonna be quick about this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's get the arc furnace out. What else is in here? The auto lathe. Okay, and the stuff for the auto lathe. This is the power stuff I need. And solar panel. Okay, let's get the solar panel up and running. Let's get the area power controller thing up and running. Oh, what? And let's get our furnace up and running. Okay, and this goes in there, and then where'd that little battery go? There it is. Okay, alright, now let's go back out and get some volatiles and oxide. Pretty sure that's enough to get us started. Don't know where the other ones are. Let's get the volatile. Hello? 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 Nope. Okay. Always gonna need more iron. Alright. Okay, now let's start getting this going. And let's get our auto lathe out here. Okay. We're gonna need some of these and sheets. Alright. We have that going. Oh, whoops. Nope, that was wrong. Come on, man. Don't lose it. I could have just gone straight. Oh, we're doing so good. So good with that. Stupid. Okay. We got that going, and we got where'd the iron go? Did I already put it in there? Where did I put the? Oh, there it is. Okay, let's get that going. The sun's down, but I can use my. It's not probably the best, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna use my large battery. I can swap out with my tools. If my suit battery starts running out really, really bad. Okay, let's in the meantime set up some more of these. Okay. Give me just 1 second, and then I will read the comments and hear, I'm sure, all the things that I'm doing wrong. Okay. All right, let's see what people are saying. He's speed running to the next explosion. That's the first one I read. Each kaboom is a learning experience. It's true. First night is always difficult. Zombies and creepers. Yeah, you start with so many frames. Yeah, that's the brutal start, and you start with that many frames. I assume that that's probably for the more difficult planet starts. Mars is pretty comparatively for Stationeers. I would just like it to be said. I feel like Stationeers is not your typical easy game, but in Stationeers, Mars is the easiest planet. So I think that the frames are probably more for the harder planets. Yes. The next steps I'm going to be taking is once I have that furnace, I will start smelting the rest of the stuff that I got, and I'll also want to make a hydraulic pipe bender and the electronics printer, so that way I can start making some things like to refill my tanks. And I also need to create a pressurized location, which I'm just going to do with walls here in a second, because I need to be able to open my helmet to eat. But I need to get a furnace first, so that way I can smelt without using energy, because energy is a very limiting factor right now. Oh, are we getting a lot of frame drops? Oof. Unfortunate. All right, let's keep going. I will read more in a little bit. Okay. How are we doing on? Yeah, not super great, but not terrible.
Power low.
Yep. Here, let's. I'm limited time, so let's go wall. Let's make a few of those. Is that oriented the right way? Yeah, it'll do. Okay, so I need wrench and iron sheets. then welding torch. There we go. Okay. That's plenty for now. How are we doing? Gonna need more iron. Alright. Let's do 20. Nice and hot. Alright, and there we go.
Power critical.
Yeah. Alright, this still has 67. I don't know how much time we have left in the evening. Yeah, we'll probably not be able to turn that one back on. So let's just take the battery back. Yeah. All right. In the meantime, let's start laying out some of those frames. All right. Let's start nice and small. When I place down walls, my preferred method of doing this is I like to leave the walls facing the outside, so that way I have better access on the inside to like the cables and stuff. I think I'll leave the airlock right here. And then I will do iron walls. I know a lot of people like to do just like full glass everything on like the starter zone, but because I struggle with putting things in front of the glass, I try to just kind of have some nice windows, and then the rest of it I have like kind of normal walls. Like that. And I also know that it is important to have the windows because you need to heat up the inside. So I'm going to have a good amount of them, but yeah, that seems good. And then we'll also have one more in here. Like that, so that way we can have our airlock right there. And those are gonna be doors. Okay, let's take these and start constructing some stuff. I haven't made the glass yet. All right. We do have silicon. How much do I need to do a pipe bender? One's gold. What about electronics? Oh wait, they're both gold? Oh, so the silicon. Yep, that's about right. Okay. I guess the silicon is going to be for the glass. Okay. Yeah, we're just kind of waiting for that sun right now to get going again. I guess I could maybe go mining while we wait. Might not be a bad thing because we are kind of sitting ducks right now. It's like, what is the most productive thing I can do at this given moment? Yeah. All right. So we're gonna need more oxide so that way we can pressurize the base. We're gonna need more silicon for glass. I'm trying to walk in a relatively consistent direction just because I know that my base is back that way. I have that compass. So, yeah, I think I can. It's that way, so I'm going to go this. I mean, yeah, we're going to always need more copper. For cable and such. Probably should get more iron. And honestly, I should get coal for steel because we can make base batteries. Like, steel is required to make a lot of good stuff. So, now that I'm saying that out loud, I think I saw coal over here. I'm going to get it. I'll get iron and coal. Oops. I'll get more iron because I'm always going to need more of that. Although I do have 100 right now. Coal over here. Alright. I am going to be running back to the base. It's going to take a second for the sun to crest that hill and us actually be able to get anything out of our solar panels. So I want to see if I can get more coal here.
Hydration critical.
Yeah. Hydration critical. The good news is that if I have a little bit of time. It's not great, but I do have a little bit of time because, you know, if I start taking damage, it's not going to kill me immediately. The lack of water. I do need oxide, though, to pressurize that location.
Power low.
Don't need the flashlight anymore. Come on. There we go. Alright, that'll have to do for right now. Heading back up. Alright, we are good to go again. Here we go. Let's make a pipe bender, because it's going to take a minute to do that. And okay, in the meantime, let's, I think we're still okay on temperature. Let's get some steel going. There we go. We got steel. Let's get more copper going. And I'll just get the iron going because I can. Oof. It sure does take a long time. Okay, let's swap back to my tool belt. Get this guy out here. And let's swap and charge the big battery. Okay. And I guess since I'm kind of just chilling right now, let's set up the cables for our thing. Actually, let's go out a little bit more. Give it a little bit of space to breathe here. Okay, that'll be for the pipe bender, and then I will have this go this way. That'll be the electronics printer over there. There we go. Just so I can start drinking water, because I am now starting to take damage, I am going to, once I finish the hydraulic pipe bender, I'm going to start making the glass. I need 1, 2, so 6. Nope, 7. Glass. 1, 2. Okay, and then let's also make some doors. And now let's make the electronics printer with the iron here and the copper. Okay. Let's just put this down like that so I have it. Okay. And we'll move that like that, so once it's done it won't try to print a second one. Alright, now let's go and put down some oh, I do need to make, you know what, I think for the time being we'll do manual hatches, because I don't need extra materials, because I still have iron sheets. And before I go in, let's also turn this to get more efficiency before the day runs out. Nope, too far. There we go. All right. Oh, son of... I forgot to... Okay, well, guess what we're doing? We're going to pressurize this little spot. Ah, no, we're not. I am just going to do something dumb.
Temperature high. Pressure critical. Oxygen critical. Cognition low. Low pressure.
Well, wasn't ideal, but we made it work. Okay. Bought ourselves a little bit of time here. There we go. And now let's get some iron sheets with the little bit of time that we have left. I need 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna need several. Two for this, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I already got 8. Okay. And then let's do plastic plating, or plastic sheets. Okay, and I think I need a little bit to make the doors that I want. I think I need a little bit more glass too. Okay. Let's swap this battery for this one. Turn on our light here. And let's do some welding here. Once I get this spot set up here, I will once again look at the comments here. Let me just get all these devices built. Oops. All right, those are built. Let's get these doors and swap them out for the actual doors that I want. I think this time I'll actually do the interior door will be glass because I think they're classy looking. Okay, let's get our welding torch back out like that, and then glass and crowbar, and then these guys welding torch and 2 glass and crowbar. Sweet. All right, that is set up. Okay, so now we can pressurize that spot inside. It's still going to be cold, but I will be able to eat and drink. And I need to Okay, so let me read the comments, and this is actually where I could maybe use some help from the experts here, because last time the issue that I ran into, which we solved by making a nitrogen filter and a pollutant filter, um, but if like JP Mystic, for example, if you were in my shoes right now, how would you refill your tank? Would you just use the filters like I did, or would you use the printer to make the atmospheric kit use a oxygen filter and then pump that into a fill tank? Uh, what? It's being weird right now. My uh, hold on one second. The stream is being dumb. Uh, in the middle of the stream, YouTube was just like, "We need to verify it's you right now." Amazing. Okay. I think uh, some of the suggestions people are giving right now are great, but I need a quick solution right now. Um, One that also doesn't require a ton of energy or power, I suppose, because that's the problem that we have. Um, let's see. I'm gonna go in here. Is iron, gold, copper to make an atmospherics kit. Yeah, I think that's just the way I'm gonna do it because it's different than last time, and I know that I want to use that in the future anyway for other stuff. So that's what we're gonna do. And I don't have to make filters because if I do that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, gold and copper. Oh, more copper. If you have suggestions, no longer atmospherics is going to take more power than you have. I just need it. I don't need it to last long. I just need it to be able to do it once to fill up the tank once it gets low, and then I can turn it off. Oh, but that's true. It's not going to work because it takes a long time. Like, it's not something that happens quickly. Dang it. That's a good point. That is a good point. Okay. All right, let's rethink this. Yeah, I think I'm just going to have to do the old active vent and use some filters. It's not the preferred method. Uh and then we can swap out to the filter thing. But I don't have a gas canister to like refill. So as soon as I'm out, it's over. That was how I died. One of the like the first or second time is like your oxygen tank goes faster than you think. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't have the power output and stuff. Okay. Dude, what keeps happening with this thing? Yeah. All right. Let's get a nitrogen filter. But what I will do differently this time that I didn't do last time is I'm going to make 2 active vents. Or I guess 1 active vent. Active. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm going to make it so we're going to depressurize this area, and then when we put the oxide in there, we won't have pollutant in there, so I don't need to make a pollutant. I don't need to make a pollutant thing. Yeah, I do want the ice crusher. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll just do ice crusher then. Gosh. I was doing really good at the beginning, and then now I'm scrambling a bit. Let's see. Solar panel, 5 gold, copper, steel. I think I have all of that. I might just make a quick second solar panel. Oh, excuse me. Nope. I just need to do this now. I have an active vent. I need the pipe crusher, ice crusher, and some pipes. But the ice crusher also takes a decent amount of power to run. Yeah, too many. Seriously. I am running into overload here. I think oops. Fuel generator. I think that it takes yeah, maybe I should do that. Because then I could keep going at night. That's not a bad idea. Because we definitely have oops. Okay. Yeah, I think I even currently still have coal. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's get, it takes iron and copper. I need more iron. Let's get more of this. For power. The funny thing is that when I redid it the other day several times, I had something that worked, but it was temporary, which it's how we do it. But it saw me through to day 10, 12, whenever we blew up. But now, because there are so many voices in my head, I'm like having decision paralysis here. All right. All right, let's go back to the base. I'm going to, since we have power again, I'm going to make a passive vent and a pipe. I'm going to put the active vent on the inside, passive vent on the outside, draw a vacuum in that space, and then I'm going to drop the oxite, and we're going to create that little zone. I'm also going to make a tank fill. So I can pump the oxite without pollutant into the tank, and I already made a nitrogen filter. That's what I'm gonna do. Oh, I should have turned my light off when the sun came out. Oh yeah, I fell down a little ways. I think my base is up here. Oh my gosh, dude, I started freaking out. I was like, don't tell me.
Hunger caution.
Alright, that's also... that is really high pressure, but don't really have much I can do about it. Okay. I also need to get some solar tracking up and running again. Okay, so things I'm gonna need. I'm gonna need a vent, passive vent. Okay. I'm going to need, I have an active vent, I need pipes. Probably don't need that many pipes, but that's okay. And then I need a, I think it's utility. Utility gas to make the fill.
Waste tank caution.
Yep. Okay.
Air tank low.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, so let's set up the fill tank here. Where's my active vent? Active vent is right here. I am not going to do anything even remotely fancy right now. I am literally going to take these pipes. I'm going to first draw the vacuum in here like this, and then I'm going to disconnect this, and then I'm going to put it into that tank refill. So now all I need to do is just get this thing going while the sun is still up. I should go the other way so that way I don't have to worry about the pipes. Okay, there we go. I have oxide, so let's close these doors. And let's turn this on and set inward. So then this area, I don't have my network analyzer on me, so that's a little bit of a bummer, but it looks like this zone is okay now because it says 0 kPa. So we're going to turn this off. We are going to take this vent, or this pipe, excuse me, and we are going to like that, and then we are going to throw oxide in here, and because of the sun it should start melting the oxide. I'm going to equip my nitrogen filter before we do this, and once the spot is good, this is set to inward. Okay.
Air tank critical. Oxygen low. Low pressure. Oxygen critical.
Like that. And now we have oxygen again. Sweet. Okay. That is a quick and dirty way to do it, but now we have oxygen. And also, this shouldn't have any pollutant or anything in it, so I should also just be able to unlock, open my helmet, and eat a little bit. Okay. And I will also go get my network analyzer just to make sure I did it properly. Nice to breathe. Okay. I should have opened that door. But alas. Okay. And let us, yes, we will open the waste tank in here as well. Yeah. Unfortunately, because of that door. Wait, maybe I can through this door open that door? What are the odds that happens? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter anyway. It's not like I'm going to pull a vacuum in that spot. So if I want to get rid of pollutants in here, I'm either going to have to depressurize this place again and do the same thing that we did once we have an airlock, like a proper airlock. So there's really no way that I can currently avoid getting pollutant in here. It was just the way I had it set up. But let's see what you guys are saying. Suck out as much air as you can into the pipe network. I guess. Yeah. But I don't have my network analyzer, and I don't know how much it's going to pressurize, and that was literally what killed me last time. So I'm gonna say hard pass on that one. So here comes the pollutants, unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah. If I had my network analyzer, I would have done it, but I don't, and I don't want to like be like, yeah, that seems like enough. Okay. We have a very limited amount of time. I might be able to, if I use my suit battery, maybe get us the what was it? The fuel solid generator. Solid generator, iron, copper.
Power low.
I doubt that. Let's see, 75, 74. It does seem like that number goes up faster than this number goes down. So, using that science, maybe we can get it, and then we can make it so we can survive a little bit more at night, or have a little bit more production at night. Analyzer. Do we have? Oh, we already have a chip inside of that. There we go. Yeah. Okay. A hardworking stationeer like you can have a little pollutant as a treat. Ah, thanks. We love a little bit of pollutant as a treat. Yeah, I think unlike last time, this time I'm going to prioritize getting our airlock going, so that way we have less pollutant issues. I guess that was not something that I put at the top of my priority list last time. That is a bit high pressure. I think I'll hold off for now until I do a vent thing on that as well. Is this still on? No, it's not. Okay. Hey, we did it. Look, we got 6%, 5% left on that, but we have our solid fuel generator. Okay, let's... I think I'm just going to get rid of the arc furnace because we ain't going to be using it for a minute. And instead, I'm going to put down that. And we are going to start doing this. There we go. All right, now that we have some of that going, let's get this, let's get some more pipes. Wow, that sure didn't last long, did it? Oh, I understand what's happening here. I see. My bad. This needs to go on the other side of that APC. Where's my... Perfect. All right. Now let's do this. Ah, much better. Okay. And let's turn this off. Let's get some more of these pipes. And utility. Is the cowl a utility or I guess I can just hold on. Nope, I think it's its own thing. Yeah, own thing. But I think this can give me a valve, can it not? Dude, I don't know, man. It cannot. Solid. That'll be used for something else here in a minute. This will be going in there. And let's get a valve. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna come right here. Go like that. We're gonna put a valve. Like that, and then we're gonna put a cowl like that. So now I should be able to just, is it doing it right now? There we go. Let out the pressure, baby. Cool. All right, we'll let that run. All right, now let's set up a advanced airlock. So let's get two. We need 2 passive vents. I'm gonna have to pull a vacuum in here anyway, so I'm just gonna leave them open for now. Like that. We're gonna get 2 active vents. And I think the rest of the stuff I'm gonna need is gonna be in the electronics printer. Okay, we are going to need this to continue going. Okay, we're going to need we need several cables, but we're gonna need airlock. Okay. I don't need that. We're going to need a console. We're going to need a sensor. Okay. Console. Sensor.
Hydration critical.
And then we're gonna need cable. And a lot of it. I put the console down. Where did I put the advanced airlock? Alright, I'll get it to 30. Okay. Yeah, last time I did this, I focused more on getting a sustainable energy source, and I'm glad, like, it was nice to have for sure, to not have to worry about power, but yes, I think getting atmospherics might have been more important than I had initially anticipated. Although, airlock is only as good as your power grid is, so that is going to be something that we have to do. But I didn't have a solid fuel generator last time. All right, what do we? We don't have water. So my lander has food and water inside, and so does this thing. Yeah. So I'll go in there, I'll pull a vacuum, I'll drop more oxite to pressurize, and I guess before I do that, we need to do I have silicone? I do, but only one. what I need to do is I need to get the glass and finish the thing. So let's get the silicone. We'll open this up. Get glass. Let's also get the labeler. And also, let's get another battery. Oh, I don't have the gold for it. Well, let's just do a small one then for the labeler. Okay.
Power low.
All right, let's get this going. I still need to hook this up to the actual grid, but hold on. Okay, starting to take damage from lack of water. We'll get that sorted here in just a second. Okay, we have this. Let's open up the angle grinder, throw this battery in the labeler, swap out the labeler. This is, I'm just gonna really quickly, exterior. I guess they were different types of doors, so I didn't really have to do that.
Hunger caution.
I gotcha. Okay, let's set this to this. Let's go. Oh, that's the exterior active vent, interior active vent, gas sensor, exterior and interior. Up. Oh, and let's set it to 0. 0, 0. Okay, this is how we want it. Let's go throw that in there for the time being, and let's that noise.
Power critical.
Okay. All right. Let's calm down here, bud. Cycle. Let's swap out the power. So that way, you know, we don't lose any of that. Let's do this. Okay, now let's take our pipes here and clear out this little network here. Now we're going to go like this and like this. We're going to turn this on. Are we out of power? Amazing. Okay, well, I think we're still somewhat breathable in
Pressure
here.
critical. Oxygen critical.
Or not. I'll just have to go get more of this. Oh, yeah, because I vented the whole thing. I forgot about that. All right, let's get some food and water so I can get these beepers to stop beeping. Stop beeping, beepers. Okay. All right, man. Chill out. Chill out. You're okay. Sweet. Thank you. Man, that is a stressful noise. All right. Let's lock helmet. Get that going. All right. Now we need to go get more coal so that way we can burn some fuel. And then we can do this. This would be easier. I mean, once we have this set up, we'll be fine because we won't have pollutant in here. But, okay, let's get this tool belt going. Let's get my, it does not want to force close because it's an airlock now. Okay, well, here's the deal. We are off to a good start. I told my wife that I'd be done around 6, and it is around 6. So I will be back. We will probably trying to decide whether or not I'm going to work on this a little bit more offline, and we'll pick up on it on Monday, or if I'll just pick up right where we left off. I don't know. We'll find out on Monday. But I am next time print a wind turbine and not a solid generator. I guess that's true. I knew that the solid generators give you a lot of power, and we had a lot of coal close by. But anyway, thank you all for stopping by, hanging out at the stream. It was stressful, but it was fun. I really like Stationeers. It's a good game. But obviously I am not an expert at it quite yet, but hopefully through this process I will learn a lot and become something that may resemble someone who can fake it as an expert. But until that time, thanks for stopping by, and we will catch you later.